Hey, everybody. How are you doing on this fine Sunday evening? Hope everybody's had a really, really good Father's Day for all you fathers out there. Drop in the chat as you go and tell me what you got for Father's Day. Um, should hopefully you had a great day with your family, and hopefully we have some fun tonight here. Ed will be joining us shortly, hopefully. Right now he is having dinner, so he's having his Father's Day a little later. For me, Father's Day was brunch. We went to a place called Another Broken Egg. Pretty good place, kind of like a first watch type deal. So that was good. Good place to go have brunch, and then followed my wife around the mall for a little bit, stuff like that. So got this hat and this shirt for Father's Day, so that was fun. That's why I was curious what you guys got in your in the for Father's Day. Drop that in the chat. So as always, get active in the chat. But it looks like Uncle Ed is arrived, or not. He was. He was here. He was here. I promise. He wait here. Wait. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. he's doing something different. There we go.
There you go.
Ed, how you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oops.
Where?
Sorry about that.
Where's your Inter Miami shirt, Ed?
Yeah, unfortunately, no Inter Miami shirt. I was at the. Sorry, I'm moving around a lot.
Yeah, chopping your own face off.
Yeah, man. Hold on a second. I'll get this squared away in a few.
All right. While Ed's getting squared away, let's say a big thank you to our sponsor, and that is Caneswear. Caneswear is where you go to get all your Inter Miami gear, the messiest wall in all of South Florida. So go there, support us by supporting Caneswear. Also follow them on social media because they are always having good deals. I know they had a sale this weekend, a Father's Day sale. So go and check them out. Go to caneswear.com. If Davey is a little too far for you to drive, caneswear.com. All orders over $99 ship for free. And you drop in FMTV 10 and get 10% off on the website. So go support them and get your Inter Miami gear. I want to talk a little bit about gear today because some new stuff dropped. So we'll talk about that later in the show. But we've got some fun stuff. So Ed, I was saying how my Father's Day was while you were getting connected. How's your Father's Day been?
Good, man. We were actually out and about. The kids and wife took me out to eat. We went to Texas Roadhouse.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw! So yeah, everything's cool. But yeah, I got him making the wife drive. We weren't able to get back on time. There was a long line, so we had to.
Hey, Texas Roadhouse is popular. What can you do?
Well, it's also because there was a lot of what's it called? A lot of people. Father's Day.
That's what I mean.
Oh, somebody wants to say hello to you. Say hi,
Uh-oh.
Peter Brown, real quick. Come on, say hi to Peter Brown.
Hi, that's the future soccer player.
There you go. Yeah, she's gonna be playing pretty soon. So,
all right.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good bye.
Bye, baby. So yeah, Peter Brown. Wow, I was actually kind of surprised about the game, man.
So yeah, let's get into that a little bit. I mean, the Club World. There's a lot to talk about with the Club World Cup. Some of the topics down in the ticker that we'll maybe hit tonight. We'll try to hit, but you and Julio were throwing around like predictions. I don't know if you noticed. I didn't say anything because I was worried. I was worried. I didn't want to come across as a negative Nelly, the Debbie Downer, but I was worried. So I just kind of was like, let me just keep my mouth shut and hope for the best. Because the goal for the Club World Cup, clearly for us, is not to win it, right? That's just not realistic. MLS teams do not have the budget to compete against teams like Chelsea and Atletico Madrid or PSG, if you saw that game today. Or more importantly, if you saw Bayern Munich destroy Auckland City, which Auckland City is like a semi-pro team or fully amateur, I'm not sure, but it's as they're broadcasting that game, they're talking about how this guy is a barber, this guy is like an insurance salesman. It's like, and they got destroyed. I was watching that game. So I went out for brunch and then went to the mall with my wife for a little bit while she was shopping. I was sitting down on a couch watching a little bit of the Bayern Munich game. In that Bayern Munich game, I watched it for like maybe 10 minutes and I saw 3 goals. It was bad.
Wow.
So I was worried about Inter Miami, Ed. And not even that. Look, I don't know a lot about Al Ali other than they've got a lot of history. They're the best team in Africa. I don't know how they match up against an MLS team of our stature. I don't know, but we held our own.
We did, Peter. I was pleasantly surprised because, like you said, it's a team that has a lot of history. If I'm not mistaken, they the team that has the most trophies in the world.
Yeah, I think I
They're a
read that they
powerhouse.
had I think they have like around 100 trophies, and they
Yep.
are over 100 years old too. They're a club that I think it's 118 years old. I looked it up, and so yeah, they've been winning a lot of trophies for a long time.
Yeah.
And
So that's compared to us that we just started. We have not one trophy, and I don't know if we can say that the supporter shield is a trophy,
yeah, I think that
but
counts. I thought you were going
yeah,
to
right.
say the Carolina Challenge Cup. I thought that's the one
I
you were going to pull out.
Well, that one, yeah, and we've never really
That one
paid
I throw
attention to
out.
that
That one
one.
I say no.
Yeah, right.
but
It's something. I mean, it's in there.
I
No.
guess. But the shield I think counts. The shield definitely counts. It is it's got good stature and all that stuff. It's just not what MLS Cup obviously is a bigger deal, but yeah, so we held our own and everybody, if you're in the chat, I see one person in the chat. I had a feeling tonight might be a little bit light, it being Club World Cup, it also being Gold Cup, it also being
Father's
Father's
Day.
Day. All these 3 things mixed in. I had a feeling tonight might not be the biggest night to watch live, but hopefully you're watching
Yeah.
this on Monday, and you could put your comments throughout the show. If you're watching this on replay, put in the in the comment section some of your thoughts on some of the topics we're going to hit tonight, so we can get we'll have the conversation offline, well, online, just not live on the show. Anyways,
Right. I'm gonna be doing the show moving because we're headed back home now.
all
I
right.
got the wife driving, so.
Speak. I was telling the listeners while you were jumping on. This is my Father's Day gift. My Father's Day look. I'm going to call your
Nice.
wife out right here. What'd she get you for
Yeah,
Father's Day? What'd she
look
get you
at
for
him.
Father's Day?
The dinner was it, I think.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. That's
Huh.
so I see how fortunate you are, Peter Brown, compared to other people. I'm not going to mention any names, but yeah, I love the shirt, by the way, and the hat's really nice too.
Yeah. My
Um,
wife got me something different. Like it's a baseball jersey, but it's a soccer shirt. I mean, I think that the mix is funny, but
yeah.
so why not? But yeah. So like I said, if anybody in the chat is a father or something like that, throw your comments in there. Like, does your kid get you a Father's Day gift that's like Inter Miami branded? Do you get an Inter
Does your
Miami?
wife love you? Is the question for me. Oh man, I get to. Hey, you guys, it came out on video. See that? Wow, that came out on video. So we can. She's asking me directions now too. So yeah, get on turnpike. So
All right.
otherwise, we'll end up headed to your house.
No, come on over. Come on over. All right, so here, Louis Rodriguez in the chat is hitting on something we want to talk about tonight. Last night's game, our keeper saved us from a 4-0 defeat easily. I mean, I don't know about 4-0 because their keeper, I think at the tail end of the game, did the same thing. I think maybe it could have been 4-2, but I think if it wasn't for Oscar Ustari, we definitely would have lost that game. How bad? Who knows? Both keepers had great nights. Obviously, our second half was better than our first half. But like I put in this ticker, The old Ustari showed up. Now that could sound like an insult because he is old, but if you remember when Ustari started, when became the starter, he was really, really good. But in the last few games, it seemed like there was a bit of a decline, I thought. And it was like, where's the old Ustari? Well, he was there last night. He was stopping everything. I mean, stop that PK. I was, come on. He's definitely the man of the match.
He was, Peter. He definitely did a great job, especially that first half. Well, both halves actually, but
Yeah.
we did play better in the second half. We actually dominated for most of it, which was refreshing. I mean, like I said,
Hey,
that first half looked terrible, but we did
can
good.
you can you tell your wife to stop driving over potholes?
She's definitely going over something. I'll tell you that much. But
You might
yeah,
not
she's
get in
four by
trouble.
fouring it.
You might not get in trouble with your wife today, but I might.
Nah, but yeah, it looks that way. But
um,
yeah, Peter. I mean, as far as how we actually looked, I thought we looked good. We could have won it. Messi did a hell of a shot out from the corner that looked like it was gonna go in, man. That their keeper was pretty good too, man. He stopped some good ones.
yeah, Nick Smith's jumping in saying, "Old man who's sorry needed that 2 weeks off break. Did him well." I would agree. I would agree. I noticed something today, or yesterday. Did you notice on his goalkeeper jersey it says "O Ustari"? Usually you
Yeah,
put your first name initial or whatever when there's more than one Ustari, when there's more than one of you, but there's only one
yeah.
Ustari on this team. So I thought it was odd that he has O Ustari. Like, we're not going to get him confused with the other Ustari because there isn't
There
one
are no other stars,
other
but
than his son in the academy. But you know,
maybe that's why he did it. Yeah, just differentiate the old man from the young man.
yeah. Yeah, but I thought. Hey, also a little side thing. I wonder, am I the only one that notices dumb stuff like this? Did you notice that the jersey name and numbers were different? Not the
No,
numbers, not like you were a different number, but the font. The font on the jerseys, on the back of the jerseys, was different. So the names and the numbers were different than what they normally are. Normally they have
well,
that stylized MLS font. Like every team has it. It's kind of like double lined almost.
right.
And the
They
names were more block. They were more bold. And then also the numbers in the back were similar to the MLS numbers, but they were just a little more bold. The middle was, maybe because I'm in the graphics business, I notice this stuff. I work with fonts every day. And normally
you noticed.
in the middle of the font there's an MLS logo. There was not an MLS logo, there was an Inter Miami logo in the middle of the font. What, you mean you didn't notice that stuff, Ed?
I would not notice, and because you are in the business, it makes sense that you would notice these things.
And then I
I
had to
don't
Google.
notice very many things, Peter, because at least my wife says I forget about a lot of things. So
Well, me too.
you know,
But
we're getting
but
old.
I had to Google why that is, and there was some Chelsea fans that were commenting on their jerseys looking different. Apparently, this is a common thing for FIFA to kind of tell teams to kind of have a more they're using more like Arial instead of like a unique font. So not every team had to change it, but I mean, I guess they look at your jersey numbers and say, hey, you need to simplify it. So I think that happened at Chelsea as well. So it happens. Yeah, I never really noticed it because when I watch FIFA games, they're generally national team games, and it is what it is. It's not. It's never different. But
Right.
Nick Smith has noticed it as well, and they also added a FIFA patch. Yeah, they had the patches for the tournament. That's common, but I don't know. I actually liked it. It was more bold. I liked it. I thought it was cool. Anyways, so we didn't get blown out, Ed, and what do you think this says for the rest of the tournament for us? So right now, I was watching before this game. The other two teams well, two of the other teams, the other two teams, yeah, in our group are playing. Porto is playing Palmeiras right now,
How's
and
it looking?
it's 0-0 still. But I'll tell you, they're both going to be tough. They're both very attacking, and it was just going back and forth, back and forth. You know, a very high speed game. So exciting. So it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, we definitely need we do need something. We're still kind of lacking in the back. Jordi Alba, we miss him. I don't think he's gonna be back, right? He might not be back for this tournament.
Doesn't sound like
So
it. Doesn't sound like it.
yeah, unless we make it to the second stage, which looks difficult. I mean, but you never know. I mean, these tournaments are interesting. I mean,
Look,
obviously, the New Zealand team couldn't do anything with Bayern, so tough.
wow. All right. There's a weird comment. I'm not even going to give him attention. Yeah. It's Oh, here, Louis is giving us an update on the Gold Cup as USA is beating Trinidad and Tobago. Good. That is good. That is good.
Well, what a surprise because they've been doing terrible, man. Well, of course, Pochettino's been he's been working, trying to get more players in, see what they look like, but he doesn't know what his starting World Cup team is going to be. And I'm kind of worried because USA is looking bad.
Yeah, I found it interesting and surprising that so many things are going on at the same time. You know, the Gold Cup is still, I guess, considered a FIFA tournament, right? It's CONCACAF. It's a
Yeah,
FIFA tournament.
it is.
It's FIFA, and this is a
Yeah.
FIFA Club World Cup is a FIFA tournament. I'm surprised they're going on at the same time. I really am. It's competing eyeballs. Like, and I'm curious where you guys think. Where do you guys stand in this? Are you club over country or country over club? So, for example, since both things are happening at the same time, in theory, I don't know if the schedule lines up this way, but in theory, you could have a situation where you have to choose between watching an Inter Miami game or watching a USA game. Let's say they're both on at the same time, you're watching them both on TV. Are you watching Inter Miami or are you watching USA in the Gold Cup? Club or country? Where do you fall?
If you ask me, Peter, I
Yeah,
think probably Inter Miami right now.
I'm club. And it's not even right now.
Yeah.
I love the World Cup and I love watching the US national team, but it's like I live and breathe Inter Miami every day. I mean, I don't even know. I haven't, like, as an example, how much Inter Miami gear do I have? A lot. I've got a whole section of the closet just for Inter Miami. The last USA shirt that I bought has Donovan on the back, right? It's the one with the sash. So, I'm clearly a club over a country. I want both to succeed, but uh,
You are what you are.
yeah. I was just curious where people fall in there. So, Nick Smith is saying he's in Miami, so that's good. But so changing topic a little bit, but sort of staying on the topic. Let's move over to another topic about this game that I saw pop up a lot. And so we could jump back into the play if anybody wants to, and what we saw on the field. But another big conversation piece in this game was how many red shirts there were compared to pink shirts. Some people online I found, and one guy I just had to unfollow. Somebody I've known for years, and I followed him, and we're somewhat friendly in the soccer circles. I'm just like, man, this guy's just I don't know, seems to be anti-USA, and I don't mean political. I mean soccer. So I was like, I'm done following this. I haven't seen you in a long time. So, but the conversation about some people saying it's embarrassment for there to be more red shirts than there are pink shirts in that stadium, in our home city. And so I'm curious where people fall on that, where you fall on that, Ed. I think there could be several different reasons that all combine into why, but there's this common thread I saw that saying that it was an embarrassment. It was an embarrassment. I personally, I'm not embarrassed by it. You're talking about, you're trying to compare yourself to a team that has over 100 years history to us that is playing in our sixth season, right? We were born in 2019 technically, but we took to the pitch in 2020. And to think of how far we've come in a short time, it's unbelievable. But we want to compare the passion and the drive and everything of a team again that's generations of fans. I don't think it's any comparison. I
Yeah,
think we represented well, all things considered.
yeah, and there's since you brought that up about people not showing up, one of the things I heard from the supporters was that the team did help them out to get tickets. I mean, they didn't want free tickets; they wanted tickets together, and they weren't able to get that. Team probably didn't have, the ability, because this is a FIFA run show, so
Exactly.
they probably didn't have a chance to get a block of tickets done. Even though I did hear that apparently Miami-Dade College and
Yep.
I think another one in the area got tickets.
Yep.
And from what I heard, they got them for like $20.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, $20 total, and from what I understand, it was for 4 games. Ends up being like $5 a game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even less than I thought. But yeah, so some of the supporters are, they're a little salty about that the team they think wasn't able to do anything about it. And since the tickets were cheap, they're like, maybe the team could have bought them for us and we would have paid them back. But,
I want to ask it. Okay, so I've been thinking about this. And I sent you a chat, so you know where I could end up going eventually, but I don't know if I'll be that far. I don't know if I'll go that far.
I want controversy, Peter Brown.
Yeah, I could say things that make people hate me for sure. So it is a FIFA event. I don't know how much say the local club has. I think this is a FIFA event. Oh, yeah, I know it's a FIFA event, but I mean, I don't think the local club has a lot of power in this. In my opinion, it's like, did FIFA work well with the local club? No. Should they? Yes. They should have worked together and come up with some sort of plan. They didn't. I'll get to what I think the plan should have been in just a second. But if you're expecting the owners of the club to buy a section, that would be very benevolent. I would give you that. It's kind of similar to what the Vancouver owner did for the Champions Cup, the CONCACAF Champions Cup. The owner chartered a flight for fans from Vancouver to fly to Chase Stadium for that game. So, and there was a lot of fans because he chartered a plane. So, yeah, owners can spend money and do things like that. But how often does that happen? I think that Vancouver guy was the rarity. How many have you ever seen? I mean, I say ever. I'm sure there may be some examples, but how often do you see a billionaire do that type of thing? Do you see the Miami Dolphins owner buying a block of tickets for their dedicated fans? Do you see the Panthers owners doing that? I don't think so. I know you definitely won't see it with the Marlins, but it's just, I think it's an unusual ask. Could they have done something more? Sure. And then the other thing is, if you expected like FIFA to like kind of make the same kind of deal that they did with the local colleges, think about, they were not selling well. Right? The games were not selling well. And so they had to do something. You make a deal with the local colleges, that pool of potential buyers is much greater than our like 1,000 supporters that are maybe. Is there 1,000 in that section? Maybe.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
somewhere in the
most
neighborhood.
sections I think 3,000 something. Um,
But
but
in
yeah,
reality,
maybe
it maybe it's 1,000 when you put all the
the
supporters
actual
clubs
supporter,
together.
yeah, maybe 1,000. Yeah,
Right. So FIFA needed to sell a lot more than that. And so you go to a school that has a much larger pool. That's
right.
my thought on that. So it makes sense. Now, here's what I would have liked to have seen, Ed. So, we could get into in a little bit like why we didn't go to the game because we didn't go. We're part of the problem, I
Yeah,
guess. Um,
yeah, yeah.
it's true. I mean, I thought about it, and then had the whole FOMO thing at the end. Like, damn it, I should have been there. But uh, it would have been great if FIFA had worked with the local, doing the same thing with LAFC, doing the same thing with Seattle, doing the same thing with Inter Miami. If they had worked out some sort of deal with the season ticket holders. So, for example, as a season ticket holder, CONCACAF Champions Cup, basically the tickets were, for the most part, they were loaded into your account. You just had to say yes or no, right? You had to opt
Yay or
in,
nay?
huh?
Yay or nay? You could have said.
Yeah, you had to opt in or opt out, and then they would charge you for those tickets. But they made it easy for you to. They made it easy for you to say yes, because they did the same thing for the Leagues Cup. Now they were different. Like I think the league. I think for CONCACAF, you actually had to opt out. You were automatically opted in, and you had to physically opt out. So if you had forgotten, you would have gotten billed. You might not be happy about that, but it made it easy. It made it buying easy. It was already loaded into my account. They already have my credit card information. All I had to do is say yes. And the tickets were reasonable. That's the big part about this. The tickets were reasonable. The CONCACAF Champions Cup tickets for our section were cheaper than what we pay for MLS season. They were definitely a better price. So had FIFA done something like this, worked with the local clubs that as a season ticket holder, I would get a seat that is relatively within the same kind of money that I spend for my season tickets, right? So within that same budget, relatively, could go up a little bit, could go down a little bit, but more or less in the ballpark. I think more you're rewarding season ticket holders. And if you're a supporters, if you're from the supporters section and you are a season ticket holder, then they could say we're going to put the supporters in a certain spot. We're going to put them in a section. This could have been worked out to some extent, and it could have been easy to opt in to getting the tickets. And I'll tell you, I probably would have done it then because I don't have to think about it. I don't have to go searching. I don't have to go and pressure my friends and going, "Hey, we're going to do this. We're going to do this." I'm just let it go and just do it. Um, so I don't know. What do you think of that, Ed? What do you think of my? I said a
No,
lot.
that's a good idea because yeah, there's thousands of people there. But yeah, the thing is, a lot of people saw some of those tickets being resold online, so that was one of the beef that they had that I forgot to tell you about. But yeah, with the season ticket holders, there's people that are already supporting the team,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it would have been great, but it didn't happen. So
No, it didn't.
uh,
But I mean, it's like, can we learn something? Can that? And it's just if FIFA could work. Here's the end of I think the biggest problem is I don't think FIFA was incentivized, or they thought they didn't think they needed us, right, as
right,
season ticket holders. I don't think they thought they
right,
needed us because
right,
those tickets in the beginning were way overpriced. I looked when the tickets were first released, and at the time, the cheapest seat I saw was over $300. Right off the bat, I'm saying I'm not going. I love the team, but enough's enough. I spend a lot of money on this team. Enough's enough, right? I can't
yeah,
afford that.
too much money.
Now,
Yeah, I can't afford anything.
and those, guess what? It didn't sell. Actually, at one of the CONCACAF Champions Cup games, I'm sitting next to a guy and got into a conversation, and he said he was going to the Champions Cup game, and he had bought a ticket for like around $300, and he was like going, "Yeah, not a bad price." And I looked at him like, "Really?"
Yeah,
That's
buy me a ticket. You should have told him.
yeah.
Buy
I
me a
mean,
ticket.
look, I spent that kind of money when it was the very first game with Messi. It was something you don't want to miss out on. It made sense, but I can't do it all the time. That was like a once I just can't do that. So they obviously FIFA had to come down in their pricing, which they did. And at one point, we could have had, and I remember sending you an image, we could have had corner seats on the bottom bowl for like under $50. And we didn't do it. But those tickets did sell. And then maybe a couple days later, a week maybe, I looked again, and the cheapest seats were around $90, a little bit $88, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
But those were 300 level nosebleed seats. So they definitely became more affordable, but because they had to. And if they were gonna work out a deal with the local clubs, that deal would have had to been made before all this happened. So they thought, hey, we're gonna rake these rich Americans over the coals, because everybody thinks that we all are, the streets are paved with gold here in the U.S., right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They think you live over here in the States and everybody's rich.
Yeah, they,
So.
they'll come out, they'll pay, and they
Mhm.
didn't.
But yeah, I'm with you on that. We couldn't afford so many, and plus, going to all the games. I mean, uh, there's just too many games. Even I talked to our friend Patrick, who he likes going to the games too. But even he
Yeah.
said it was too many games already.
Well, that's the other thing, and I put in the ticker, buyer's fatigue, because that's the term that I kind of was thinking about today. Buyer's fatigue. I think I have a little bit of buyer's fatigue. There's part of me that says, "Man, I wish I was there in that big stadium. It was an event. It may never happen again." And I
Yeah.
missed it, and I missed it, and I'm not happy about that. But I got some buyer's fatigue. You know, I did opt in for, I bought season tickets. Season tickets have, over the years have like pretty much tripled in price over time, right? They've gone up
Hmm.
a lot. They're very expensive now. Just had to buy, you and I bought tickets in the new stadium. So we spent some money there.
Yeah.
I bought all the games for the CONCACAF Champions Cup, went to all those. Again, it was reasonably priced, but I went. I also have opted in to the Leagues Cup. Now, you could say I should have skipped the Leagues Cup and chose the um, Club World Cup instead, but I didn't. Again, because Inter Miami made it easy for me to opt in, and it was just a no brainer. So, and a lot of people think the Leagues Cup's a stupid tournament, but I have a little bit of buyer's fatigue. Like, and then I see these crazy because it's not only like going to Hard Rock. It's not only the price of the tickets. At the end of the day, me and my wife were saying last night, let's just go. And I looked and I saw tickets for like, I don't know, around $90, nosebleed seats. And I'm like, okay, I got to buy two, $180. Then we got to figure out parking. I don't know what parking is at Hard Rock, but if parking is $50 at Chase Stadium, it's got to be more at Hard Rock.
Right.
So we're saying it's minimum, I would guess, minimum $60. So now, what? I'm like over to what, 250 in, something
Yeah.
like that. And then I'm gonna have a couple beers, and you could say, well, you don't have to do that. Yeah, but I'm going to. I'm gonna take in the full event, have a couple
You can
beers.
tailgate, Peter. I mean, may as well stay there longer.
Yeah, but it would have ended up being around a $300 day, I think. And I was just like, no, I can't. I didn't feel like I could do that. Just didn't feel like I could do that. Buyer's fatigue. I think it's real.
Yeah.
And for people to call out, the fans saying they don't care. I mean, this is what happens when you overcharge your fans, and you could blame the ownership for that because they set the prices for our tickets for the season. You know. Um, so, anyways.
Too much money. Too
Too much
much.
money. I thought this might get some people talking, but I'm just curious in the chat how many of you guys did did go, and you know, how do you feel about people that chose not to? Was it an embarrassment, or, you know, hey, look, buyer's fatigue? I don't know.
I think it's buyer's fatigue, Peter. Like I said, the few people that I spoke to that didn't go, they're hardcore fans, but just it's just too much money, too expensive, and also the time. And today was Father's Day. I would have been I wouldn't have been able to go have a dinner.
Citrus Circus Fun 1 says, I was able to get Lee's Cup tickets to all 3 games, 2 seats, row 1, with food and drink for $300. Yeah, good price. I mean, see, that's what we're talking about. That's a good price. And for, you know, Champions Cup, you could have gotten 1 ticket in the beginning when the ticket. Now, I because I had a little bit of FOMO on that game, especially on watching the pre-show. You know, they had performers out there. I don't know who any of them were, but you know, it felt like a Super Bowl performance, right? It was really cool. I think FIFA knows how to put on a tournament, so
Yeah.
it looked good. So I looked up the prices for the next Inter Miami game at the Hard Rock, which is going to be against Palmeiras, and it's on a Monday. Our next game is against Porto on Thursday, but then the following Monday we're playing back here. And right now, as of right now, the cheapest seat in the house was around 115. Still feels a little too much for me. But if it drops to in the neighborhood of like $50, I'll probably go because, you know, it'd be, I think if I remember correctly, it might have been like a 9 o'clock game or something. It was a little bit later, I think.
Yeah.
So it's something you could get to.
I did see, now that you brought up the time, I did see that there's a game. I don't know if it's tonight that's at midnight.
Well, it's probably happening from the West Coast, though, right?
Yeah, I didn't check that, but
because LAFC is playing tonight.
I think it was that one, and
or
you're
is that
right.
tomorrow?
And that would be
is
3
LAFC
hours
tonight
less.
or tomorrow?
Not sure. We'd have to look it
up.
No.
Seattle's playing tonight. Here, wait, I got it right next to me. Why am I guessing? Seattle is playing tonight against Botafogo.
So, Botafogo. Isn't it Botafogo? Well, you would know because you got the Brazilian.
Botafogo. I don't know how you say it. Let me go ask my wife. Pronounce it for me. But yeah, they're playing tonight. And so, West Coast. So yeah, I mean, if it's happening over there at like 9 p.m., midnight here, right? I guess.
I just saw the score of Paris Saint-Germain over Atlético de Madrid, 4-0. Wow.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that one.
And Atlético de Madrid's a pretty good team, man.
Yeah, they didn't look so good that game. I watched a little bit of it. They PSG definitely controlled that. It was no question about it. So what are your thoughts on this tournament? So, I've heard people saying that nobody cares. I know there's an argument that the players have about the prize money. We talked a little bit about that last week. I don't know if we need to go in that again. But, it's some people I see that they're saying like FIFA's trying to shove this down your throat. They're trying to make people care. Nobody really cares. After watching a couple of games, I got to say I love this tournament, and I hope it has legs. I hope it does well, because I like the format. I like the fact that it's a World Cup. I like that it's not like the UEFA Champions Cup that takes months, right? Because you're just playing on Wednesdays, and it's 1 month, you get it all in, and you're seeing teams. I mean, I just thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree, Peter. It's a tournament that I think is going to grow on us as the years go by. Hopefully, they'll do a 4-year format. And let the 32 teams or however many teams that are would qualify throughout those 4 years. And
so I was looking it up, like how do you qualify? And so it's different for every kind of region, things like that. But the host gets some generosity. That's how we got in, I guess. They just kind of go, we want Messi. And people were mad about that, right? But look, if you had Messi, you've been invited to. Simple as that.
Yeah, next time get messy, guys. All right,
Yeah, why don't
get
you
dirty,
tell your owners to step it up?
get
And
messy, get dirty, like we
yeah,
did.
right. But yeah, it's every 4 years. So it seems like, and I don't know if it's going to be like this every year, but it seems like it's taken the spot of what was the Confederations Cup. I remember I was asking about this a couple of weeks ago or something. I was talking about how I remember there was some sort of tournament that took place the year before the World Cup, and it was kind of like, you know, a trial run for the host, and also it was a nice benefit for the teams that won. It was a Confederations Cup, and like if you for the U.S. if you won the Gold Cup, you got to go to that, and that happened in the past. So I think that doesn't happen anymore. But it seems like this maybe is taking that spot. So it's the summer before the World Cup, and it's in the World Cup's host. Now I don't know if that's going to be the case every 4 years. Like I don't know, where's the World Cup next World Cup after this.
I'm not sure,
I don't remember.
but
I know it's been announced. It always is announced like two at a time. I don't remember, but I wonder if the Champions Cup will be in that country as well. It would make sense as a dry run for the host country.
yeah, and I was gonna say, what have they said how many years from now it's gonna take place?
Yeah, it's going to be every 4 year tournament.
I'm with that. I think that's a good idea.
And so obviously it's not necessarily the club that won last year's tournament, because they want to look at the clubs that have been the best over the last 4 years. So if in whichever, I don't know how many teams from each division. Originally it was only two teams for MLS that would get in, but then a third got in as like a playoff situation. So I don't know how many teams like from Premier League get in. I didn't count. I don't know, but it's basically each. I think each kind of decides on their own, but it's the best clubs over the 4 years. So look at like overall points or trophies and things like that. Eric Overland is in the Facebook watching and saying USA's up 3-0. All right, good, as they should be. Chris Arjun mentioning that Auckland took a proper pounding from Bayern. They sure did. They did. Actually, I saw a headline where the goalkeeper from Auckland, it was saying he had to take vacation time. And it showed a picture of him like on a forklift. Like he's works in a warehouse on a forklift.
Wow.
Their goalkeeper had to take vacation time to do the tournament.
Wow. I wonder if they get a piece of the pie.
Well, I mean, every team had got some money from being invited. Like
I think it was like,
every MLS team, got that qualified, that got in, got $9 million. I don't know what Auckland did. I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but I know what we got.
Well, I think that's kind of cool. I mean, especially if Auckland is a team that's not professional. I think they're semi-professional.
Yeah.
That'll definitely go a long way if they give it to the players. Not sure how it is over here. I think that I heard that over here they only get a certain percentage. If I'm not mistaken, I think we've been over it.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. It's basically around like 10%. And so they get $1 million. Each team the players can have $1 million to split amongst themselves. It's not $1 million each. It's you share this $1 million pot. And so, but that's part of the collective bargaining agreement. They agreed to it. Now, of course, when they agreed to it, this Club World Cup format wasn't 32 teams. I mean, the Club World Cup's been around for a while, but not this version of it, not this exciting of a version. Before, I remember at one point it's like in, I think, Japan or something, and it was like 9 teams, maybe. It wasn't a lot of teams, but this is the biggest one that had 32 teams. And so I think it's exciting. I like it. The game, the PSG game, I think it said they had around 80,000 people in the Rose Bowl. There was kind of a late arriving crowd, because when the game started, I was like, ooh, there's a lot of empty seats. Are we going to hear the same kind of stories that it's just not selling well in LA as well? But it must have been a late arriving crowd. So it did kind of fill in as time went on. But comment here for a while ago. from Francisco saying Moss brothers and Infantino are milking the cow. Yeah, I mean they are in it for business. They are in it for money. So I mean that's the name of the game. And there's a thing. I was talking to my wife about this. There's a thing in this, at least in this country, it seems like we're at this point. Maybe it's a social media thing, but we love to hate the rich now. It's like they're the villain. The rich are the villain, and I don't get it. That's just you're jealous that you're not rich, and I just people when we were having that conversation last week about the owners getting more money than the players. Yeah, I think the players definitely deserve more money, but the owners are the ones that are putting up the risk. And somebody wrote in the comments, yeah, but people go to see the players, they don't go to see owners. But if there weren't the owners, you wouldn't have the players, you wouldn't have the stadium, you wouldn't have the training facilities, you wouldn't have any of it if it wasn't for the owners. So, yes, the players should get a larger percentage of the purse, but we should stop bashing the owners. Are some more money hungry than others? Sure. I mean, Inter Miami just signed a new deal with Levi's. I don't know if you saw that. They're now they're selling, I guess, patches that you put on your Levi's jacket or something like that. There's like a bunch of different patches, and there's going to be like a Levi's like mobile truck, I think it is, at the stadium, and then some other locations as well. So I mean, they're
new
big
video
sponsorships.
coming soon, right?
Big sponsorships that are happening.
Like I said, new videos coming on that too pretty soon. So check it out.
Is it?
We're gonna have to do it.
Is it? Tank saying that's a double edge, Pete. I don't know. I don't know. Go into more detail. But yeah, so you need the owners, but you need the players. You need them both. So, but you can't go 50-50. The players are putting out their bodies, but they didn't put out the investment. I don't know.
Right.
I hate when there's in this country now, it seems like we hate on billionaires. It's like, you wouldn't hate a billionaire if you were a billionaire.
Right.
I mean, I would love to be one. I'm not, but I would love to be one. So I would love the opportunity.
Give me a chance.
Give me a chance. Hey, let's change the topic again and hit this. What do you think of this, Ed? A little more fun topic. Speaking of making money.
And for Inter Miami, this is mo money, because they keep banking on these shirts, all these messy shirts. But I like the color. I like the design. I don't know if you got a closer look of it, but they're gonna make more money, man. It's inevitable. Take my money.
Yeah, the Inter Miami shirts, they all tend to be very, very simple. If you really think about it, it's just a very simple shirt. It's all about, I guess they like the idea of having clean designs. So yeah, it's nice. I didn't grab an image, a close up of the shirt, but yeah, there's like almost like little pinstripes or something. It's good. I see a lot of people saying this should be our main color, but there's too many blue teams out there. So this is good for a third kit. Tank likes it. He likes the kit and the shoes. Holy cow. Eric Overland. 5-0. Another goal from Haji Wright. Goal from Haji. Wow. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. You should beat Trinidad. So, but yeah, I like it. And yeah, the shoes. And let's get a better look at those shoes. Hang on. Let's get rid of that comment. Move it up a little bit. I love the shoes. I love the shoes. Nick Smith says he needs the jersey with the Suarez name. The lighter blue is very Uruguayan-esque. Yeah? Or you could say it's very Man City, too.
Yeah.
But it plays well off the pink. And somebody, I heard some, you can never make everybody happy. And so there's people saying it's like, I didn't even know this was a thing. People like complaining about the colors, saying it's a statement for like trans people or something like that. I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah, it's just a cool color. And it does look like a gender reveal type of thing. It's like, is it blue or is it pink? Is it a boy or is it a girl? But
it's what's his name? Our old owner, Marcelo Clara, would have probably liked the color.
He the reason blue is always, for anybody that says blue doesn't belong, blue has always been a part of the color palette for Inter Miami. It wasn't a widely announced color palette, but if you look in the first 2 seasons, right? I think it was 2 seasons, the shirt has blue on the inside because Marcelo Claure said there needs to be blue. Now they hid it. It's on the inside, but it was blue. And so One World, One Goal is saying it's almost Southern Legion blues, but not quite. Yeah, the Southern Legion blue was the blue from Miami-Dade County. So that was the blue from that because I did it, so that's where I got it from. And then here's a wider array. Whoop. Well, where is the image? Where this image? I think. Nope.
There. Oh.
Nope. Where's the other image? There we go.
There you go.
Where you can see a wider array of the collection. So, here, Francisco, Miami Vice colors, long live the 80s, for sure. I love this jacket. I don't think I will buy it. I know I buy a lot of stuff. I live in Florida. I very rarely wear jackets, and the couple sweatshirts that I have do just fine for me. But it looks cool.
It is a cool. It kind of looks like a Letterman jacket from back in the
100%.
Very cool.
And if you go to the wider array of the selection, I mean, here we could take a closer look of that shirt you were talking about, Ed.
There you go. You could see
it won't let you zoom in. I thought it might let you zoom in.
Fiddlesticks.
I thought some sites when you hover over it zooms in. But there's more to the collection, so it's like they've got this T-shirt that's pretty simple but cool, because it's got the heron thing on the back. But then I also like just down here, this plain white shirt with the blue, I think looks cool. It would look good with this hat that I got. Come on now.
It would, yeah. Look at that.
And I have $80 credit from the team from renewing my season tickets. It might go right. It might go right there. So, and they got a pink one too. So, it's a pretty cool third kit collection. The only thing I think they're missing is I think they should have had a hat. Imagine a blue hat in this color with a pink Inter Miami logo. I think it would have looked really nice.
It would have looked nice. Maybe that's coming up soon.
No, this is the campaign. This is it. I don't think they're going to add anything more to it.
Oh well, it still looks good. I like the shoes. Definitely like the shoes.
So you think your wife's going to let you get any of this stuff?
I'm gonna throw I'm gonna get the link from you in a few.
Is she still in the car? Show her the screen.
She's still right there, right here.
Show
next
her the
to me,
screen.
Man. Right, look, honey, look. See that
look
right
this.
there?
Look.
Happy
you got
Father's Day. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
Happy Father's Day. Just throwing it out there.
Okay.
She's like, okay.
Look, your pink ones that you got, your pink gazelles are very dirty, Ed. So you need. So you need a new pair.
See, even Peter's saying that I need a new pair.
Now mine still look brand new.
She's like, I already bought one for you.
In pink.
And I used to be against pink. That's why she's like, oh, now you want to wear pink.
But these are new.
Yeah, look, honey.
Dile que deje de estar hablando por ti.
Stop. She says, stop talking for me. Is what she said. Stop talking for me. Yeah, what you gotta do is have your wife, send her a message and tell her.
Tiene que decir
que
tú me
compres a mí. To Peter, No, she's saying right now that she saw some women's stuff there that maybe I should get her. So,
oh yeah, there's
See, look, there's some ladies stuff.
Where is it?
Looking at me.
Oh, here.
There you go, right there. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. How much are they?
Oh, this is a jersey, man. It's $100.
Wow.
It's cheap.
Cheap.
Cheap?
But that's what she said.
All right.
It's cheap.
Miss Moneybags.
Yeah, she's got money. But yeah, I mean, I like everything, man. It's really cool. I like the Letterman jacket.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll do that for the pink for the pink look or something. Well, I don't know if I'll buy that, but maybe in black.
One World One Goal is saying the pink suede didn't fit well. I gave it to number 17, which is Serena. Messy ones were more comfortable than the Inter Miami ones. So I have the two that came out before. I've got the pink gazelles that you have, and then I have the leathery Sambas that are black, all straight black, and they're Inter Miami. They're not messy ones. Now the messy ones came out later. The black ones are not comfortable at all.
Wow.
Because the tongue, the tongue on the shoe is longer, and it cuts into like my shin area. Just like where your foot bends. Whatever. It cuts into that. It's not. I wear them because I have them and I've worn them to games, but they're not comfortable at all. So,
that sucks.
And the pink ones I don't wear to games because we park in a mud pit basically. So
and mine are very dirty because of that.
Yeah, so I only wear mine out when we like go to dinner or something like that. As long as it's not fancy, if I gotta dress, and I don't really go to fancy places. So if I'm going to Texas Roadhouse, for example, I'm wearing my pink shoes.
Yeah,
Just
I
saying.
like that.
Yeah. Went to the restaurant, another broken egg this morning for brunch. I was wearing a Inter Miami polo. Ed, you've always got to be representing when you leave the house.
I try to, but my wife complains because she's like always wearing Inter Miami stuff. So today I had to wear this.
I'm always wearing Inter Miami or Disney. That's it. That's all I get. That's all you get.
First Disney. She's all about the Disney too.
Yeah. But the Porto game finished 0-0.
Well, that's good. That's good for us. I mean,
I don't know if it is good or not. Like whatever Jose says, all teams get 1 point each. Not good. We're all even right now.
Well, okay, yeah, it's not good for us because we need to win. Now we need to win against a difficult team.
Exactly.
But what happens if we tie everybody?
What if everybody ties everybody?
What if everybody ties everybody 0-0?
Not just us. What if everybody ties everybody? Nobody ever wins.
All the scores all the way through every single game 0-0. What would happen, Peter Brown?
I don't know. Because usually you would go to goal differential. But if nobody scores, I don't know what happens.
That's what I'm saying. And everybody ties in points. 3 points each. 0 goals, everybody. How would that work? We need some brilliant mind out there to tell me how that's going to work out.
Good question. I don't know.
That's
I do a lot of research for these things, so I have some base of knowledge when I'm talking about that one. I don't know because I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible that everybody in the group doesn't score a goal. There's no goals scored. I don't think it's possible.
Never say never, Peter. I'm just saying. I'm throwing it out.
Francisco Garcia says fair play will define qualifiers. I guess what you're saying is then it comes into who has fewer yellow cards. That's what he's saying.
Forget it. Then we lost.
That's what Francisco's saying. Less yellows and reds. Forget it. We're out because we've got Avilés and
he's gonna get a red next game.
Busquets got a yellow. Suarez got a yellow for talking too much. All right,
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's what everybody.
I think we got like four cards.
The people in the chat, no. Well, he's guessing, but he's got it right. Yellow cards, red cards. According to Francisco, that's the rule. All right. Well, we learned something.
Yeah.
And like Tank says, that in that game, it was one of the most exciting 0-0 games I've ever seen, especially live. So that means he's talking about the Inter Miami game. That Inter Miami game did definitely have me sitting on the edge of my seat. It was an exciting match. No question. Anybody that says a 0-0 game can't be exciting, they don't know what they're talking about. Here, let's finish up with this because we got to let Ed go. He's sitting in his car with his wife. And I assume she would have just gone home and left you in the car.
We're actually at home, but she doesn't want to go in without me. That's how much she loves me. You should have seen her look, huh?
One World, One Goal says,
Love you.
Peter, did you like the ref cam? Not so good for yellows. I love the ref cam.
It kind of looked like the ride I had over here with all the bumps my wife was like taking. Yeah, I was all over the place. I noticed.
Yeah. I like the ref cam. I think it's good, and you get a good idea of what the ref was looking at when, say, a foul happened or something like that. Yeah, I like it. Holy cow, Eric. 5-0. USA final.
Wow.
Wow. All right.
That's good because we were losing by a lot.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we could keep going on and on and on talking about more nonsense. I could get more opinions on. I had more thoughts actually that I didn't get to, but that's okay because we could do this again next week, and so we will. And Ed, is there anything going on with the Spanish channel?
Yeah,
I know you guys just did a review, so if you didn't see that, go check that out.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if we're gonna do one later tonight, or there should be one for tomorrow. So guys, check that out. Sorry we don't have a schedule just yet, but we're kind of all over the place for now.
All right.
But eventually we'll have it.
They did put up a review. So if you speak Spanish, go listen to that and watch that. So good stuff. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching on this Father's Day. Thanks to those of you that were in the chat the whole time. You guys make it fun. Without you, it's a lot less fun. Without you, I'm just yelling at a camera, and that's it. So thanks so much for.
You didn't know we could do that now.
No, I don't know if I can. I don't know if mine because I'm doing it.
Look at all that love I'm sending out to you guys.
Yeah. Look at that. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. We will see you next week. Bye, everybody.